how would you rate the job the Washington Post did in covering Joe Biden's, not his age, not whether David Ignatius thought he should run again, but how good a job would you say the Post did in covering the reality of Joe Biden's cognitive decline?
I would say, so there was a lot of effort to produce a story that would look very carefully at what seemed to be a cognitive decline. It never came together because we couldn't get enough people on the record.
Glenn.
You have to have people on the record when you can see it live on TV continually every time they allow him to make an appearance. And you can't get people on the record. You can just report what you see.
Do you know the moment where Joe Biden spoke to a dead congresswoman at a public event? You familiar with that moment?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what kind of sourcing did you need to say Joe Biden was suffering cognitive decline? Did you see him trailing off regularly?
Exactly.
What kind of sourcing was needed?
What a joke.
I can't get too.
We couldn't get people on the record. The story just didn't come together. Meanwhile, the conservative media is reporting on it nonstop, but they couldn't get it together, and then they wonder why we think that they have a left-leaning bias. Oh my goodness.
In the weeds of what happened at my former news.
Well, you weren't in all the meetings, but you read the coverage. You read the coverage.
I'm telling you, there was a lot of effort to produce the story.
What effort does it take?
That you are asking for, and it didn't come together. That is my understanding. I was not
pathetic. What a horrible excuse! Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, understood.
And yes, in retrospect, one could say that was a real missed opportunity. It's also difficult when you're taking on the president of the United States and you want to say, okay, we think there's a cognitive decline, and we want to get people on the record as actually saying this. I mean, and
all you have to do is show video clips of them that you don't label cheap fakes, motherfucker.
Because it's a very serious accusation. And you know that on the left, there's all this chatter about Trump's cognitive issues. Now,
he has to bring in Trump.
But Clint.
He has to bring in Trump. This is the way that they are. This is just evidence of the left not leaning bias, but this is reflexively what they do. They bring in Donald Trump and his presumed mental lack of acuity when he's out there giving multiple hours stand-up sessions without missing a beat. This is they're such a joke. He's a representation of the leftist elitist that thinks that they can do no wrong and then excuse themselves for an obvious story that should have been covered, but they don't, and they wonder why we think that they're corrupt. Sorry. End of rant.
Are you saying that the absence of regular coverage of Joe Biden's cognitive decline during his presidency in the Washington Post has nothing to do with pro-Democrat, anti-Trump bias amongst the reporters and editors of the paper? Nothing.
Exactly, because I know for a fact that story, we tried to write it, we wanted to write it, and reporters were working on it. We got it in different ways. It didn't come together in a way.
Glenn, how could it not come together?
Mark, I'm sorry.
They were lacking evidence. They had the murder weapon. They had the motive. They had the video of the man, but it just didn't come together. The prosecution of Biden's dementia didn't come together.